Music has been around the park since God knows how long. It has been with humans since the dawn of time. It's somewhat of a historical escort in our society, while also being one of the most coolest and most beautiful forms of art known to every generation. Gen Z is obviously no exception, especially with the rise in different sounding music, cultures, trends. Bro, it's like a supermarket. We are spoiled for choice. And thinking about it, the Kenyan music industry has also been improving over time. By its mainstream industry, it's how can I say this? It's pretty shit. I can bet you my entire 844 school fees that a lot of people born in the Gen Z era absolutely hate what some of the mainstream music industry in Kenya is doing. Don't get me wrong, there is hope, but it's still shit. And why, I hear you ask? Well, here's why. May 31st, 2018, a legendary Kenyan music video was posted to YouTube. Now, when I say legendary, you instantly think of something, I don't know, grand. Something big, amazing, right? What if I told you this music video did so much more? It was like a frenzy, something that sent shockwaves to the Kenyan media, something unseen, unheard of. And I know you're wondering, what's this song? Ini gani? Like, bro, why are you talking about? Kwani ni Kenya gani nilikuwa? It's a song about sucking dick. Yes, I'm talking about Lambalolo, the song that jump-started what we now know as, the Gengeton era. She was so good that it led a whole bunch of young niggas to hate on a guy with the weirdest mustache I've ever seen in my life. And this is coming from someone who has a baby mustache. Fuck the Pusha T versus Drake beef. It was Ethic versus Ezekiel Mutua. Shit was fucking heated, bro. Gengeton was in your face. It was something fresh, something different, something rebellious, youthful, you name it. Old people hated that shit, but young people, now Gen Z, absolutely loved it. It kinda represented, and still to date, slightly represents what Gen Z is all about. For once, we had our, sense of, identity, you know what I'm saying? And from the way that I'm singing its praises, you might think that this is 100%, it's going to stay for 50 years and beyond, right? Right? Well, unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Though granted Gengeton is still around in 2023, it didn't hit the same back in 2019. And this is due to a number of reasons. Shout out to the Long Live Gengeton article by the lovely Tala Wangeshi. If you want a nuanced read on, what's going on in Gengeton right now, that's a really lovely article that you could go through. And it's in the description down below. Point number 1. It got a lot of pointless hate quite early. I've never seen a genre like Gengeton get as much hate as it did back in the day, 2018. Especially, to top it all off, the hate came from Kenyans themselves. I mean, if you're not accepted in your own home, how are you supposed to succeed? Point number 2. This is much more of a, opinion-based thing. But Gengeton was mostly glued to club-like events. You see, other genres have, you could play them in different settings, right? But for Gengeton in particular, you'd mostly play them where, there's a lot of nyash involved, right? And that's a downer as well. I mean, I wouldn't imagine myself, I'm dead in my coffin, I'm about to leave this earth, right? And my family is crying and shit. And then the DJ just plays Orosho Mambosho Mangoto. Nigga. Point number 3, my main point, financial power. Due to the reasons mentioned prior, and also others such as Gengeton's explicit nature, the 2020 pandemic that fucked everyone up, it was just like proper mad to, the car, what the fuck have I just said? But yeah, it stopped the progress or halted it to an extent. And stakeholders couldn't have a proper reason to promote that shit. Mind you, some promoters, or rather managers, had beefs with their artists. For instance, the Mwalimu Rachel versus Sailor's Gang incident, which was pretty messed up. And hence, if you can't promote something locally, the proper fashion, it wouldn't do shit globally. Alright, let's look at the bigger picture here. Who are some of the biggest artists in Kenya at the moment? Well, you got the likes of Brooklyn Boys, Wakadinali, Boutros, Major, Nikita Kering, Mandy, Rida. Bro, you have a whole ass list. And these artists are amazing at what they do. But in this video, I'll be using 3 artists to support my point, just to see where the problem is. First on my list of 3s, Sauti Sol. Now, Sauti Sol is one of the biggest, if not the biggest band in Africa. In terms of stats, impact, you name it, bro. For instance, they hold annual events like big ones, i.e. Soulfest. They have their own international tours. They release great music. And my most favorite one being they had a nationwide tour, the Live and Die Africa tour. And that is such an incredible start to perform a nationwide tour. Yes, international is pretty cool and shit, but nationwide, and it's successful. I think they were also the first one to do so. Bro, that's incredible. Then, should I go happy? Where is the problem? Well, according to my hypothesis, I know professors don't dress like this, but I don't have a lab coat, so I just used a fucking, robe and Specsac Weld, and also a fucking glamour magazine from fucking 2005. But the problem is not Sauti Sol. It's more of an audience thing. You see, Sauti Sol, just as every artist, they have an audience, and their music caters to Gen Z and millennials so much, by the way. But unfortunately, Gen Z doesn't completely fill up the whole audience bucket. You have to also consider the, local audience. The likes of Mama Mboga, Brayo mwenye hajai tumia Spotify, ya utumia tu bidi, vienyeji, etc. They're a really big audience. And I can bet you, again, my entire 844 school fees, here's your chache, on the audience that I've just said, do not know that have never gone for Soulfest. Let's start there. Do not know that Sauti Sol released Lil Mama just a few months, days, weeks ago. Do not have Spotify Premium or even Spotify to begin with. And that's a really big audience. All because we come from a third world country and the local Kenyan can't really afford such luxuries or won't choose to afford such luxuries. And also for another reason that I'll get into later in the video. Second on my list of 3s is Calligraph Jones, an incredible rapper. The song Yego was a beautiful moment back in time. I remember like it was yesterday. It just sounded like an old man there. I heard that song and I felt like dropping out. The song had so much hype. Bro, I would have started throwing javelins and shit because that song was so good, as well as the man being sung about, Julius Yego. Apart from that, Calligraph Jones was recently nominated in the BET Best International Flow Awards back in 2020 against the likes of Stormzy and Nasty C, bro. That's what it speaks for itself, really. And not only that, but this is more of a personal take, he dropped one of my most favorite songs from him, Luanda Magere Legacy 1. And before I continue, Calligraph, I'm a producer. I can make boom bap beats for you. Even better ones, to be honest. Just hit me up, Luanda Magere Legacy 2. Produced by Turiii. You already know the vibes. Yeah! Wait, hold up. I know I look like a dumbass, but yeah! Jones! But for real, hit me up. You definitely won't regret it. So, shida ni gani hapa? This guy has an incredible CV. Why isn't he as big as he's supposed to be? It's still the same reason why Sauti Sol aren't as big as they're supposed to be either. Yeah, I know, very anticlimactic as fuck. But there are a few nuances here and there. Those nuances being, Calligraph has much more of a stronger hold on the local Kenyan audience in comparison to the group of 4. Though granted, Sauti Sol also do have bangers that everyone knows, every Kenyan knows, such as Turiii. But if you ask me, Sauti Sol's catalog is a bit too niche for the local ear, and from what I know, they can't really afford to dumb down their music like that. And as for Calligraph, like I said, his music resonates more with the local audience and some few millennials rather than, the Gen Z kids. It's kind of fucking hard to find a kid born in the Gen Z era and ask him, yo, which Calligraph song have you heard? I mean, yeah, there are some, but Gen Z wise, not as much. Third on my list of threes is one of actually my personal favorites, Karun. I won't go into this with statistics and shit. I'll just say it as it is. If Karun was born in downtown Los Angeles or some shit, she'd be competing with SZA. I said it. I said it. What? It's an unpopular opinion. What? Hear me out. Yeah. One of my favorite tracks from her is called Catch a Vibe. Literally, it's a vibe. Listen to it, you catch a vibe. Literally. It's just a vibe. And when it comes to this, whole audience thing that we've been saying, local wise, Brewa Tubidi hamjui, like at all. But Gen Z wise though, that's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT! So, what's your problem, Turiii? Relax, calm down. I got you. You remember that Beyond rant he did with on Jalango's show? When was it? Some few months, years ago. Who even knows at this point? But do you remember that rant?
Guys, a society that doesn't take care of its artists has no culture. You get me? So, we don't know how it feels to love our artists because we don't love them. We put them at the bottom of the barrel. And we love Nigerians and we love Jamaicans and we love everybody else. That's okay. But that's what is reflecting now. It's you guys who need to fix yourselves. You need to fix the relationship you have with art. There's a million amazing songs on Kenyan radio. There's a million amazing Kenyan songs online that nobody wants to go and give the platform. In Kenya, when you become talented, people now start rejecting you for some reason. Msanii lazima jichukishe imbe ufala ndo msikie, because that's the only way first of all to get you. Alafu mkishasikia hiyo someone answer, these guys have no content. Mkiimbiwa content amtaki.
Bian said it best. The problem doesn't lie with the artist. For the most part at least. That I'll come to later. The problem lies in the audience. Some of their music tastes are honestly mediocre. And that's not to say that some artists aren't also to take some accountability. There are some artists who take, advantage of the mediocrity going around. And the damning thing is, how Asani, they're the ones who have Akina Brewa Tubidi. These artists don't make good shit. They promote trash shit because they themselves are trash. Especially those who say, who have promos such as, at 9 p.m. I'll be addressing the nation. What the fuck? These are some of the controllable entities that's keeping us from greatness as the Kenyan music industry. Instead of using the, strong chokehold on the local ear for promoting and making good music, they just promote trash. Hence why I'd want to do my part in promoting good artists, good Kenyan artists, mind you, and I recommend you take a listen to them. They're amazing at what they do and they deserve to be heard.
Lost in translation, and I try to be patient. Tell me lies. Why you gotta be like this? Now you don't take no risks. I got what you need, I know. Many times. You let go too easily. I hope with time you see.
I've been thinking about it for a long time. Trying to understand that you really ain't mine. I ain't switching phones, I ain't changing my life. Guessing now I'm grown, yeah, I left you behind.
Always go harder, dick in this game like bitch, I ain't know it. bitch, I know it. Off that fuck shit, seeing up and I avoid. Second the edge of roll shit up and smoke some joint. Get high, that's the point. Yeah, I got infinity flows, infinity gang, got infinity hoes. All middle fingers on my enemy hoe. Trap get lit, got liquor indoor. Let's flip to the store. Drives too tight, can't drive too slow. Drives too fly, I ask some more. Fuck the chef, yeah, fuck the pole. My bitch fly, she got her dough. You ain't know now, you know. Niggas ain't going too fast, y'all niggas. Y'all can get this high.
Na mina chonga hii leta, yani in short mina sema nakupenda. I hope uko sawa na wish kukuona tena.
In your eyes I see my heart, I see my life. In your eyes I see my heart, I see my life. I wanna see you again, see you again.
So when you rise, don't you forget to shine, 'cause they didn't believe in you. They didn't believe in what you could do. So now the time is due. All you needed was you to make it through. A sweet melody, I just sing for me. A sweet melody, you're my medicine. A sweet melody, help me find my peace. A sweet melody, you're my remedy, yeah.
In conclusion, I think there's hope for the Kenyan music industry, especially the rise of such talent like the ones I've listed. We have potential. We have potential to be probably the best in Africa. I'm saying that with my chest, not my non-existent chest. But yeah, we do have potential. And I can't wait to see that potential be actually tapped. Anywho, that's the end of the video. Comment down below if you want more of this type of videos. I'm down for making them. You just suggest on what you'd like to see next. Of course, I'm serving you. So, you are the guys who make this channel better. So yeah, your suggestions, your comments, positive criticism is absolutely welcome. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have any other kumbaya shit that I could tell you. Yeah, it's been your boy Turiii. Till next time.